Crystal flutes chimed softly in the air. Mirth echoed through the radiant ballroom. My sister spun gracefully, her dazzling white gown catching the light. The crowd erupted in cheers for her engagement, everyone but me. I wasn't even permitted past the entrance. Before we dive in, leave a comment below and share where you're from and which city you're watching from. After you finish the video, let us know what you'd do in my shoes. Be real with us. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We read every single one. Let's get started. For 10 minutes, I lingered outside. No invitation ever came, just the sting of my mother's words from 2 days prior ringing in my head. This is for the accomplished ones. Don't shame us. My grip on my purse strap tightened until my knuckles paled. The accomplished ones. I'd juggled 2 jobs to clear my student loans, while Amanda, my sister, glided through life on charm and handouts. Yet here I stood, invisible, like I was nothing. A waiter slipped out to fetch something from his car, and as the door swung wide, I caught a fleeting glimpse inside. Amanda sparkled, a diamond choker at her throat. My mother laughed, regal and untouchable. My father clapped to the rhythm of the music. That night, I wasn't their daughter. I was a shadow on the pavement. "Ma'am, you can't stay here," the valet murmured, his polite tone laced with unease, as if my presence threatened the evening's flawlessness. I forced a stiff smile, nodded, and turned away, my heels clicking sharply on the cold concrete. Each step drove a deeper ache into my chest. Humiliation seared through me. I wanted to scream, but instead, I pressed my lips tight until they quivered. At home, the silence hit like a weight. My husband, Daniel, waited in the living room, his piercing gaze locking onto mine the moment I stepped inside. He stood from the sofa, his jaw clenching. "They didn't let you in, did they?" I shook my head, my voice breaking as I whispered, "Mom said it was only for the accomplished." For a long moment, Daniel stayed silent, not an empty silence, but one heavy with intent. He crossed the room, cradled my face, and looked straight into my eyes. "Then we'll prove what true success looks like. Not handed to us, not staged. Ours." Tears blurred my vision, unsure if his words were meant to soothe or to vow. But the edge in his voice felt fierce, like a shift was coming. I didn't yet grasp how far Daniel would go to ensure my family never shamed me again. His words echoed in my mind that night. "We'll prove what true success looks like." They felt like a pledge, unyielding, almost perilous. By dawn, Daniel was already awake, phone to his ear, his voice low and authoritative. He wasn't just my husband anymore. He was Daniel the strategist, the side my family never bothered to see. When he hung up, I asked cautiously, "What's going on?" He met my gaze, calm but resolute. "Next time your family thinks of sidelining you, they'll choke on their own pride. Emily, I'm done watching them treat you like you're lesser." I swallowed, caught between thrill and apprehension. I'd seen Daniel seal business deals before, but this was different. His fire wasn't for profit or ego, it was for me. That afternoon, while Amanda flaunted selfies from her lavish engagement party, Daniel drove us to a gated estate across town. The iron gates parted, revealing a mansion straight from a dream. Grand marble steps, towering glass panes, and gardens that seemed to stretch into eternity. I froze in the passenger seat. "Daniel, what is this?" He parked, turned off the engine, and faced me with a smile both gentle and victorious. "Our new home." My breath hitched. "That's impossible. We can't." "We can," he interrupted. "I've been building in the shadows for years. Investments, deals, partnerships. All of it for us. This house isn't just a building, Emily. It's evidence. Evidence you don't need their validation to be someone." Tears welled up, blurring my sight. My whole life, my mother and sister judged me by what I lacked. The car I couldn't afford, the dress I couldn't buy, the events I was excluded from. Now, Daniel held the keys to a home that could dwarf Amanda's entire party venue. We stepped inside, and the world transformed. Polished floors gleamed, chandeliers glittered above, and a sweeping spiral staircase rose like a scene from a film. My reflection in the glass walls no longer looked like the overlooked daughter. It looked like a woman claiming her place. "Daniel, I murmured, trailing my fingers along the marble kitchen counter. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted you to see it, not just hear it, he said. Words don't quiet people like your mother. Reality does. That evening, as movers brought in furniture, Daniel set up cameras, not for security, but for something bigger. This, he said, adjusting a lens, isn't just about moving in. It's about making them see. They tried to erase you. Now the world will watch you become undeniable. I didn't protest. Maybe I should have, but deep down I craved it too. Years of being ignored, dismissed, mocked for not being enough had left wounds. If Daniel wanted to show the world who we were, I wouldn't stop him. 2 days later, the video went live, and I was stunned by what followed. It started simply. Daniel carrying me across the mansion's threshold, my laughter bouncing off the walls as I held on to him. Then came sweeping shots of the dazzling foyer, the sprawling backyard, the pool shimmering in sunlight. The caption was brief, but piercing. For those who said she wasn't enough. By nightfall, it had exploded. Millions of views. Comments pouring in from strangers. She's radiant. This is strength. Excluding her? Their biggest regret. Now that's what success looks like. I sat on the couch, my phone buzzing nonstop. For the first time in years, I didn't feel invisible. I felt invincible. But the real storm hit the next morning. Amanda called first, her voice syrupy with false warmth. Emily, wow. That house in your video, incredible. So thrilled for you. We should celebrate together soon. I could hear the envy seeping through her words, each one buckling under its weight. Then my mother called, not to praise, but to chastise. Emily, what is this video? Do you know how many people are talking? You've made us look foolish, acting like we don't value you. I laughed, the sound sharp and startling even to me. Didn't you say the party was only for the accomplished? I just followed your advice. The line went quiet, a silence that told me I'd struck a nerve. When I hung up, Daniel slid an arm around me. This is just the start. They tried to erase you, Emily. Now, they'll be the ones begging for a seat at your table. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of their judgment. I was ready for the fallout because this time I held the power, and power changes everything. The calls kept coming. My phone buzzed like an alarm. Hour after hour, Amanda, my mother, even distant cousins who once treated me like an afterthought. Suddenly, everyone remembered me. But it wasn't out of love. It was because the internet cared. Daniel's video hadn't just gone viral. It had spread like wildfire across platforms. People were remixing it, reacting to it, quoting the line. For those who said she wasn't enough. In every comment section, strangers called out my family without knowing their names. By day 3, Amanda's perfect Instagram feed had shifted from engagement glitz to desperate posts about family unity. One story showed her fake smiling beside our mother, captioned, "Family first, always." I nearly choked on my coffee. Family first? She hadn't even saved me a seat at her party. That evening, Daniel leaned against the balcony railing of our new mansion, scrolling through his phone, his face unreadable. "They're scrambling," he said, showing me Amanda's posts. "Your sister thrives on praise, not silence. And the silence from her precious crowd? It's breaking her." I wrapped my arms around myself, torn between satisfaction and unease. Part of me feels guilty. Daniel turned, his gaze steady. "Don't, Emily. They didn't care about guilt when they left you outside, like a stranger while they celebrated. Do you think Amanda would hesitate to do it again?" His words landed hard. He was right, but a flicker of doubt lingered in my chest. Revenge tasted sweet, yet it carried a weight. The next morning, things darkened. The doorbell echoed through the marble halls. I opened it to find Amanda standing there, designer heels gleaming, makeup flawless, but her eyes betrayed her, restless, red-rimmed, desperate. "Emily," she said, her voice wavering as she tried to sound composed, "we need to talk." I leaned against the doorframe, unmoving. "Funny, last time we talked, you were too busy celebrating with the accomplished ones. What's changed?" Her lip trembled. "Please, this video, it's everywhere. People keep asking why you weren't at my engagement. Sponsors are backing out. Do you know what that means for me? For us?" I laughed, sharp and unrestrained. Us, Amanda? There's been no us for years. You made sure of that. She flinched, her gaze darting past me into the house. Her voice softened. Emily, please, just take it down. You don't know how much this is hurting me. Daniel's voice cut through from behind me. She's not taking it down. He stepped forward, his arm sliding around my waist. You wanted to erase her? Now the world knows her name. That video stays. Amanda's face twisted, her sweetness giving way to venom. This isn't over. You think one video makes you better than us? You'll see. She spun on her heels, stomping off, the click of her shoes echoing furiously. My stomach twisted as I closed the door. Daniel, maybe we're going too far. She looked exactly how she deserves to, he cut in, his tone icy. Then, softening, he touched my chin. Emily, you spent your life shrinking for them. Now they're the ones shrinking. Don't let guilt take this from you. His resolve steadied me, but Amanda's words clung to me. This isn't over. That night, scrolling through the video's comments, I froze at a post from a local gossip page. Sources claim Emily Carter was excluded from her sister's engagement due to deep family rifts. Rumors hint at secrets involving inheritance, favoritism, and betrayal. Inheritance. Betrayal. My mind spiraled. There were things my parents never shared. Whispers they hushed when they thought I wasn't listening. Daniel noticed my silence. What's wrong? I handed him the phone. His jaw tightened. They're trying to twist the narrative. If they drag out secrets, they'll regret it. Secrets. I whispered, dread pooling in my gut. He held my gaze, protective but unyielding. Emily, I've done my research. Your family's success isn't as clean as they pretend. They've hidden things. If they push us, I'll expose it all. My breath caught. I wasn't sure what scared me more, the idea of family secrets unraveling or the certainty in Daniel's voice when he promised to fight back. This wasn't just about an engagement party anymore. It was about legacy, power, and truth. And the next move would decide it all. I barely slept that night. Every creak of the house, every gust against the windows, felt like a warning. Amanda's words, "This isn't over," looped in my mind like a haunting refrain. By morning, Daniel was at the kitchen table, laptop open, his eyes burning with focus. "It's happening," he said without looking up. "Your family's trying to rewrite the story. They're spreading rumors, painting you as the envious sister who can't handle Amanda's joy. They want pity." I sank into a chair, my heart heavy. And people will believe them. They always do. Daniel met my eyes, his voice steady but fierce. "Not this time. I told you I've done my research." Before I could ask more, he turned the laptop toward me. The screen was filled with documents, financial records, property transfers, emails. My parents' pristine image was a facade, built on shady loans, unpaid debts, and connections they hid from the world. My chest tightened. "Daniel, how did you?" "I've had my suspicions for years," he said calmly. "When they humiliated you, I started digging. Emily, their power isn't real. It's smoke and mirrors, and smoke clears when you shine a light." My stomach churned with dread and relief. All my life, I thought I was the weak one. Now I saw I was the only one not hiding. The confrontation came swiftly. That evening, my parents and Amanda arrived unannounced. Tires crunched on the driveway. Fists pounded the door. I opened it to find my mother, Linda, her face taut, eyes blazing with barely contained rage. My father, Richard, adjusted his tie, as if readying for a fight. Amanda stood between them, arms crossed, her engagement ring flashing under the porch light. "Emily," my mother began, her voice sharp and brittle. "This circus has gone far enough. Take down that video. Stop humiliating this family." I leaned against the doorway, my pulse steady despite the chaos before me. "Funny, you didn't care about humiliation when you left me outside, like I was nothing." Amanda's voice cracked like a whip. "Stop acting like a victim. You've always envied me. That's why you and your husband are doing this, to make me look small." Daniel appeared beside me, his presence commanding. "Amanda, you didn't need our help to look small. You managed that when you shut out your own sister." My father's face darkened. "Watch your tone. You don't know who you're dealing with." Daniel's lips curved into a cold smile. Actually, Richard, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. Want me to release the records? The unpaid loans? The properties tied to Amanda's fiancé? Because once I hit publish, the internet won't just talk about Emily's mansion. They'll tear apart every dirty detail of your so-called success. The silence that followed was deafening. My mother's hand trembled as she clutched her necklace. Amanda's face paled. My father's jaw worked, but no words came. I stepped forward, my voice low but sharp. All I ever wanted was to be treated like family. You couldn't do that, so now you'll watch me build a life without you. And you'll see I never needed your approval. Amanda's eyes shimmered with tears, but pride kept her posture rigid. My father muttered something, then turned and stormed off. My mother followed, her silence louder than any words. Amanda lingered, her gaze locked on mine. Envy, regret, disbelief swirling in her eyes. Then she turned and left. As the door closed, I exhaled shakily, my legs nearly buckling. Daniel caught me, his arm steadying me. You did it, he whispered. No, I said, tears streaming down my face, not from pain but from strength. We did it. That night, as the city lights glowed beyond the balcony, I scrolled through my phone. The video was still soaring, millions of views climbing higher, strangers sending messages of support. Women wrote, "Thank you for showing us we don't have to accept humiliation." It sank in then, this wasn't just about vengeance. It was about redefining my worth. I was no longer the forgotten daughter. I was Emily Carter, the woman who rose, who endured, who stood tall despite her family's attempts to tear her down. And as Daniel pulled me close, whispering that our greatest chapters were just beginning, I knew one thing for certain. They tried to lock me out. Instead, they ignited the spark that made me unstoppable.